Hi, I'm Maria from Crochet A to Z, and in this tutorial I like to show you how to make the iconic granny square. I say iconic because it's been around a long time, and it's one of the most, to me, the nicest and most beautiful afghans you can make because they become so colorful. But that's not the only thing about the granny square. You can make a multitude of things with it. You can make scarves, you can make cardigans, you can make a lot of things with the granny square. So this granny square is one of my go-to patterns. I really love it. And I've made it in a multitude of colors and variations. So I'm going to show you this one. I think it's real easy to make. The first thing I want to mention is that I am using an eye hook crochet hook. So that's what I'm using for this. And I'm also using Red Heart Super Saver yarn. It's a 4-ply yarn, and that's the one I've chosen for today. So let's get started with what I believe is really a beautiful, beautiful pattern. One of the things that I want to mention also is with the granny square, there are different ways of making this. There are different people that make it different ways. No one way is correct or wrong. They're all right. Whatever way you choose to make this is fine. This happens to be the way I like to make it, so I'm going to show you that now. So what I'm going to do is I did my slip knot, and then I'm going to crochet and chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I count my V's. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to go into that first chain that I made with my crochet hook, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. So here I go, and I'm going to go right through. So then you're going to see in this hole is where everything is going to start. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to do a chain, and then I'm going to yarn over and do my first double crochet. So I'm going to do double crochet here. That's 1. That's 2. And if you see where I'm going with this, I want you to see that's my second double crochet, and yarn over, go right in there and come out and do my third double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to make another double crochet. And then 2 more. Right into that same area. And you're going to notice that I have a little tail there. So I'm actually wrapping my tail in within these crochets that I'm making. I'm hiding it, and it's a great way to do this, I believe. So now I'm going to do chain 2, and I'm going to make 3 more double crochets right in that same area. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to chain 2 again. 1, 2, and then I'm going to go right in there again. I'm grabbing my tail with it, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to go to the top of my very first double crochet that I made. I'm going to go right in there. I want to show you. I'm going to go right in there, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, and I'm going to go up and in. And I want you to see that you're starting to see like the beginning of your pattern start. That's the row, your first row, which is actually right here. And that's the middle of it. That's where you crocheted into. So now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets in that same spot. That chain 1 counts as nothing. 1, 2, 3. That chain 1 counts as nothing. So now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets in this. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to start making my corners. There's going to be 4 corners. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to make 3 more double crochets right in the same spot. So 1, 2, 3. And see how your corner is starting, that's your first corner, and it's starting to get defined. Just like in here, when you see this, you can see that your corner starts to get defined. So now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go into the next. We're going to go right in the middle of those, right there. We're going to do another double crochet. 1, 2, 3. See how nice it's starting to come along, and it's starting to come along really, really nice. Now we're going to chain 2, and you can, there it is, and we're going to go right into this same area, and we're going to put 3 more double crochets. And I have videos for how to make your chains, your slip knot, and your double crochets, so you can refer to them if you're new to this, or you can watch me do it right here. So now here's your second corner. 1, 2, chain 1. We're going to the third corner. 1, we're going to go right in there. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. And we can take our time doing this. We don't have to rush. We just want to get it together. 1, 2, 3. This is our third corner. See how defined it's getting now? See how you can really see it coming into shape? So you're going to chain 1. Now what you're going to do is you're going to finish off this last corner, because that's the corner that you started and you made 3. So now we're going to do 3 more double crochets in this corner. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to go right into the top, very top of this double crochet that you started when you did that. And you're going to do a slip knot, a slip stitch. You're going to do your slip stitch. You're going to chain 1, But that chain is not going to count as anything. That's just, you're going to chain 1 because you want to start your new 3 double crochets. And in this corner, we're going to make 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to move on. You're going to chain 1, and we're going to make 3 more double crochets. Now what you're going to find is that you're not going right to another corner because your crochet, your pattern and your granny square is taking on more rows. So because you're taking on more rows, you're going to now have corners, but you're also going to have crochet stitches in the middle. So you're going to start seeing that you've got your 4 defined corners, but you're also going to have double crochets 3 in between those corners. So that's as it gets bigger. And you're going to chain 1, and you're going to go right into this corner, and you're going to do 3 double crochets. And the more you do it, the more defined it gets. Then you're going to chain 2 because you've got your 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2. And we're going to do 3 more double crochets because we're in a corner. Now we're going to chain 1. And now you're in the middle of a corner. So here's your corner, here's your corner, you're in the middle. So you're going to do another 3 double crochets. And if you notice, your middles are adding because the work is getting bigger. So here's your corner, you're adding your middle because it's more defined now, and you're adding as it gets bigger. So here's your corner, there's your work in the middle. You're going to chain 1, and now we're going to go into this corner again. We're going to go back into our corner. We're going to do our double crochets. We're going to chain 2, 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to chain 1. And here's our work between our 2 corners. So we're going to go in here and just put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and just then I saw my yarn split, so I'm going to pull out of there and I'm going to redo it because my yarn split. And I'm going to go back in and put it in there and do my 3 double crochets, chain 1. We're going to do 3 more. 1 in the corner. We're back into the corner. 3 more double crochets, chain 2, 3 more double crochets in that same spot because we're in a corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. We're in the middle of 2 corners. We're going to do just 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 1. Now we're back to that corner that already has 3, and we're going to button this up and close it up to make that row complete. So we're going to do our 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 2. We're going to go to the top, very tippity top of that first of that double crochet. We're going to do a slip stitch, and here we go. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to yarn over and make 3 double crochets in this corner, because when I finish this round, as we did with the other rounds, as I finish this round, you're going to come back to this and you're going to finish your 3 to finish your corner. So we're going to chain 1. Now you're in the middle of one corner and another corner. And see what I said about as it gets bigger, you're going to see that you're going to have spots in between the 2 corners that are just going to be 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to put another one here. 1, 2, 3. You're going to chain 1, and you're back at another corner. So we're going to go back in the middle of those double crochets, the 3 on one side and the 3 on the other side, and we're going to put 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 1 and 3 more actually we're going to chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So when you go to your corners, you're going to remember that when you go to your corners, you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. When you're not in your corners, now when you go here, you're only going to make 1 chain, and then make your 3 double crochets, your chain 1, because you're not in the corner, your 3 double crochets, again, your chain 1, you're going to go to your next corner, well defined, you're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2, because you're in your corner. That's going to define your corners. 3 double crochets, chain 1, three double crochets, chain 1, three double crochets, chain 1, go back in this corner between the 3 and the 3, make three double crochets, chain 2, you're in your corner, you're going to chain 2, make three double crochets in that same spot, chain 1, you're coming out of that corner, so you're going to chain 1, three double crochets because you're crocheting between the two corners, chain 1, you're still between the two corners, chain 1, and you're going to this corner again. So you're going to put a chain 1 there, and then you're going to three double crochets because we're going to finish off this corner. You're going to chain 2 as always. 1, 2. You're going to go to the top of this double crochet and you're going to do a slip stitch. And then if you're going to continue, because now we're going to count our rows. We have row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Let's do a row 5. So we're going to chain 1, do three double crochets once again, oops, and I happen to crochet tight, so, and everybody crochets, when you find your own niche on how you crochet, everybody crochets differently. I crochet tight, so you're going to find that, you know, everybody crochets differently, and it's just the way it is. So, again, chain 1. We're in the middle of our corners. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, and we're going to continue along, and we're going to keep doing this. And I want to mention that with this particular pattern, you can continue to make this as big as you want, and you can make this particular square can end up being a afghan or a lap can, because, and I've made it with this. I've also made baby blankets with this. So you just continue to go on, and you can make this right into, you know, your first lap can or your first afghan or your first baby blanket, and it's really pretty. And what would happen is you just keep going. You just keep going until you make it the size that you want. So when I say you can do so much with the granny square, it's true. And you can do so much with this one square that you can really make yourself a nice afghan with this, or a nice lapcan. If you make the afghan with it, or the baby blanket, they call it the Amish square. So that's what you can make with this. So, and you can make it with different colors. So the next video that I'm going to show you, the next tutorial, will be how to make it and change colors. And I'm going to show you a real easy way to change colors, and I think you're going to love it. And it's like I said, it's just a great pattern to follow. I'm going in again, and I'm going to do my 3 because I'm in between my 2 corners, and then I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to finish off this square at 3 rows. We're at the corner, so we're actually going to chain 2 and do 3 more. And we're going to go right around, chain 1. And when when you continue to do this and you really get into doing this, the first 2 rows may be a little bit like, oh dear, am I doing this right? But then as you keep going, it'll just be second nature to you. You'll get so used to doing this that you won't even have to think about it. You can sit, watch TV, be at the beach, be anywhere that you like to crochet, and just do this, and you just won't even think twice about it. So here I go. I'm going to go into another corner. And like I said, we'll do 5 rows of this. And as I said, different people make this different ways. It all comes out to the granny square, but they just do some stitches differently. The double crochets will be the same, but it's how they start off with that is sometimes different. Some people chain 3 and they call that their first double crochet. I don't do that. I find that I like all the stitches to look the same, although some will say that they all do look the same, but I just like the way it looks with the double crochets and not putting the 3 chains that reflect a double crochet. But that's me, and that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just that I like this way better. So here we go. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do 3 double crochets here. And we're coming to the end. We're going to chain 1. We're in our last corner for our 5th row. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to go to the top of that double crochet, and we're going to do a slip stitch, and we're going to come through, and like I told you, I crochet tightly, so because of that, so we're going to see that, and we're going to go right through there. Now, at this point, what's going to happen is you can cut off at this point and not continue, or you can continue to make a bigger square, and I've done that, I made the big squares, or you continue to make your afghans. So that's up to you. You can cut off at the 5th row, the 6th row, the 7th row, wherever you want to cut off for the square size you want to make, or you can continue and you can make an afghan. So when you're done with this, you can cut this off and continue and not continue, or you can keep going. And what will happen is this is what you'll end up with. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to weave in ends, as well as I'm going to show you the granny square changing colors. We're going to go from that to this. And what you're going to see in this pattern is that it has a real nice look to it, and you don't see anything that looks different. To me, it's a uniform pattern. That's why I like doing the granny square this way. It just doesn't look like you've got some kind of a change, because to me, maybe it's my eyes, I can see the chain 3s, and I don't like that look. I like the more uniform look. So that's up to you. But this is the granny square. And again, if you want to continue, you can cut this at the end and not continue, or you can continue and not cut it and just keep going until you make it as big as you want, and whatever you want, whether you want to make it a lapcan, an afghan, or you just want to make your squares bigger. Because what you could do is, and I've done this, I made blue, and I made all the different color blues all bigger. I think it was 12 rows, and I just made, enough for a bed, and I made 12 of these, or I forgot how many I made, but I think there was like maybe 12 or more, and just make a nice afghan for the bed with it. And I made the black around the edges, but I did it all in the different color blues. So there's a lot you can do. You can design your own pattern of how you want to show this and how you want to show your granny square. So again, Maria from Crochet A to Z. Please subscribe to my channel. In the next one, I am going to show you how to change colors to make the granny square, the iconic granny square, as I like to call it. And then we're going to border these in blue in one of my, in either blue or black. I think I'm going to border it in black, actually, because we want to make the iconic one. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to bring them together, the squares together. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways that we can put this together into an afghan, because I have 2 different methods that you can do. One method I like more than the other. So again, Maria from Crochet A to Z. Please subscribe to my channel. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.